Behind the well-known battles and campaigns of the Second World War lies a secret history. Covert operations and treacherous plans aim to confuse the enemy at every opportunity. In September 1939, shortly after the start of World War II, Rear Admiral John Godfrey, the director of naval intelligence in Britain, circulated a memo comparing wartime deception of the enemy to fly fishing. The memo, known as the Trout Memo, contained 54 schemes to mislead the Axis powers, including luring U-boats and German ships into minefields. One of these suggestions in the Trout Memo, number 28, was titled, "A Suggestion, Not a Very Nice One." It proposed planting misleading documents on a corpse that would be discovered by the enemy. This idea from the Trout Memo later inspired Operation Mincemeat, a daring British intelligence plan executed in 1943 to deceive the Germans about the Allied invasion of Sicily. Imagine a time when deception was a crucial tool in war, a time when the truth was protected by a bodyguard of lies. Now, in this video, we'd be exploring one of the most fascinating, audacious, and successful deceptions in military history. This is the story of Operation Mincemeat, the most successful deception operation of World War II. If you want to see more videos like these, like this video and subscribe to the Before Now channel. You could also let us know the next historical figure or event you'd like us to cover in the comments section below. In the midst of World War II, the Allied forces faced a daunting challenge: how to deceive the Germans and conceal their true invasion plans. In April 1943, British intelligence led by Captain Ewan Montagu and Charles Cholmondeley. Montagu, a naval officer, and Cholmondeley, a Royal Air Force flight lieutenant, spent months meticulously crafting the details of this elaborate ruse and eventually launched this daring operation, which was set in place to fool the Germans regarding the true target for the Allied invasion of Sicily. Operation Mincemeat involved a dead body which was planted off the coast of Spain, carrying secret documents that purported to reveal that the targets for the forthcoming invasion would be Greece and Sardinia, with Sicily only intended as a feint. To ensure that the Germans swallowed the deception, it was necessary to create a detailed false identity for the body, which was that of a homeless laborer who had died after swallowing rat poison. A British physician named Bentley Purchas colluded with British intelligence officers to procure the body of Glyndwr Michael, the laborer who had died, from a morgue and transform it into the fictional identity of Major William Martin. Montagu and Cholmondeley carefully selected Huelva on the southern coast of Spain as the ideal location to deliver the corpse, after rejecting the Portuguese and French coasts. They consulted the hydrographer of the Navy to determine the best tides and currents to ensure the body washed ashore at their desired location. Huelva was then chosen because it had an active German agent, Adolf Claus, who had strong connections with Spanish officials and others, which would ensure swift delivery to the Nazis. The corpse was then clothed as a major in the Royal Marines and given the false identity of William Martin. Appropriate identification documents and other papers were also put in place to give the body a personality and background. These included a photograph of Major Martin's fiancée, a receipt for an engagement ring, a theater ticket stub, and other evidence. Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during World War II, was known for his adventurous spirit and support for unconventional military strategies. Ewan and his accomplices knew Churchill would likely get excited about the bold and imaginative nature of the deception scheme, so they had to ensure all the details were in place before briefing him. When Churchill was finally informed about Operation Mincemeat, he enthusiastically approved it, recognizing its potential to mislead the Germans and support the Allied invasion of Sicily. His backing and approval as Prime Minister was very much crucial in allowing the operation to move forward, despite some initial skepticism from military commanders. So, during the early hours of the 30th of April 1943, the body of Major Martin was launched into the sea from a British submarine and left to drift just over a mile off the southern Spanish coast. It didn't take much time for the body to be recovered by the Spanish authorities. They carefully examined the contents of the briefcase found with the body, which contained false documents about an Allied invasion of Greece and Sardinia. The Spanish government then sent the briefcase and its contents to the German intelligence service in Berlin, where the Germans concluded the documents were genuine and shifted troops to defend Greece and Sardinia rather than Sicily, which was the Allies' actual target. Karl Dönitz, as the commander-in-chief of the German Navy, met with Adolf Hitler on May 14, 1943, to discuss the progress of the war. During this meeting, Dönitz referred to the Mincemeat documents as the Anglo-Saxon Order, which had led Hitler to believe that the Allies were planning to attack Sardinia and the Peloponnesus rather than Sicily. Hitler informed Mussolini, the Italian prime minister, that Greece, Sardinia, and Corsica must be defended at all costs, and ordered the experienced 1st Panzer Division to be transferred from France to Greece. This order was intercepted by the British government code and cipher school on the 21st of May. Just as the Allies had wanted, the Germans acted swiftly on the false information by doubling the number of troops sent to Sardinia, while many additional German divisions were also transferred to Greece and the Balkans, leaving Sicily largely undefended. This diversion of German forces was crucial in the Allied victory in Sicily. Even 4 hours after the invasion began, German aircraft were still being sent to reinforce Sardinia, and by the time the German high command recognized their mistake, it was too late to make a change. The island was captured in just over a month, and the lack of enemy reinforcements played a significant role. Although its impact is impossible to calculate precisely, the deception is seen by many historians as having played a critical role in securing the Nazis' defeat. The operation was so effective that even after the invasion of Sicily, Hitler continued to believe the Allies would attack Greece. On July 25, 1943, as the battle for Sicily turned against the Axis forces, the Italian Grand Council of Fascism voted to limit the power of Mussolini and hand control of the Italian armed forces over to King Victor Emmanuel III. The following day, Mussolini met with the king, who dismissed him as prime minister. Mussolini was then imprisoned. A new Italian government took power and began secret negotiations with the Allies. Sicily fell on August 17th after a force of 65,000 Germans held off over 400,000 American and British troops, long enough to allow many of the Germans to evacuate to the Italian mainland. The military historian Michael Howard describes Mincemeat as perhaps the most successful single deception operation of the entire war, but considers it and Barclay to have had less impact on the course of the Sicily campaign than Hitler's congenital obsession with the Balkans. The success of Operation Mincemeat was attributed to the meticulous planning and execution by British intelligence, an operation which was based on a memorandum written by Ian Fleming, who later became famous for creating James Bond. The plan was so convincing that it was later made into a film, The Man Who Never Was, in 1956. This treacherous operation had a significant influence on future Allied deception operations during World War II, as it emboldened the Allies to employ even more elaborate ruses, such as Operation Fortitude, to support future invasions like the Normandy landings. It also established a model for effective false intelligence operations, as it served as a blueprint for subsequent false intelligence operations. Overall, it influenced modern views on the role of espionage and deception in warfare by highlighting the crucial strategic advantages that could be gained through trickery and espionage. The aftermath of the operation led to the appointment of Ewan Montagu as the officer of the Order of the British Empire in 1944 for his role in Operation Mincemeat. Similarly, Charles Cholmondeley, who also masterminded the plan, was appointed a member of the Order in 1948. Duff Cooper, a former cabinet minister, briefed on the operation in 1943, later published the spy novel Operation Heartbreak in 1950, which featured a plot device involving a corpse with false documents being floated off the Spanish coast to deceive the Germans. Operation Mincemeat is a testament to the power of strategic thinking and unconventional tactics in influencing the course of events. It remains one of the most remarkable and successful deceptions in military history, changing the course of World War II and saving countless lives.